What's up YouTube, it's K.D.M Sports as always. Today I got some new content to share. One of the best runs of all time is transpiring right before sports fans' eyes. Sinner has beaten the greatest, Novak Djokovic, in just 4 sets, and dominating Djokovic in the 3 sets he won out of the 4. It seems like it's always big news when we see a young player like Sinner beat Djokovic, because Djokovic has just had such an impressive and extremely long career. Everybody knows Djokovic has had a chokehold on every era he's been a part of so far. Early this morning was something different. Sinner throughout this Australian Open has been utterly dominant. He was the only player out of the Final 4 to reach the semi-finals without dropping a single set, and just a third non-Big 3 tennis player to reach that far with an unblemished record. The other two being Thomas Berdych and Andy Murray. Sinner has become the first player to beat Novak Djokovic in 6 years at the Australian Open. Sinner has made so much history so far in this tournament. He's joined elite company with Andy Murray to register 4 wins in his first 6 meetings against a world number 1 player. He's beaten Novak Djokovic 3 times in the past 4 meetings they've had. Now, he's become the first player to beat Djokovic at this stage in the Australian Open. Sinner has joined Djokovic in becoming the youngest player since Novak to reach the Australian Open final since 2008. We can go on and on about the history he's making in this tournament at just 22 years of age. Sinner had an extremely efficient performance. On his first serve alone, he won 83%, which is ridiculous. He gave up nothing to the greatest returner the sport has ever seen. That's telling. Djokovic wasn't able to win a single break point going 0 for 0. Not a single break point chance was given, and Sinner was able to convert on 5 of 11 of his break points. Another reason Djokovic lost was that big 54 unforced errors. Sinner won 128 total points, whereas Djokovic won just 98. Only category Djokovic had the advantage was the 32 total winners compared to Sinner's 31. What this tells me is that the serving and holding of service games was the story of this matchup. There's no way around it. The importance of efficient play and holding service games is a recipe for success in the sport of tennis. If you don't give breakpoint chances to your opponent, how will they have any opportunity to get any real footing during the match? And that's basically what happened. Djokovic could not find any momentum throughout the match for himself. Even in the 4th set, it just felt as if Djokovic was literally fighting for his life to stay in it against superior tactical play and efficient play. Sinner quickly regrouped from a small mistake, which a lot of players who have had the upper hand against Djokovic in the past haven't been able to do. This seems like a passing of the torch. You don't just go 3 out of 4 in the last 4 meetings against the GOAT at just 22 years of age and not have a bright future. On top of that, the constant adjustments and improvements to his game. Not only is Sinner the youngest since Djokovic to reach the Australian Open final, but Sinner has also practiced with Djokovic in his youth. And when losing his first ever match to Djokovic, he asked Djokovic for advice just 3 hours after that. Gives me Kobe and MJ type of vibes. It truly can be an understatement to how well he played. Another stat that was interesting was that Sinner dominated points lasting fewer than 4 shots, which is rare given Djokovic's track record in his 2-decade Grand Slam dominance. Sinner won 51 of 133 points in this category. So when taking all these stats into consideration in a one-on-one sport like tennis, which one-on-one sports is known to be most times more mental than physical, you can say that Djokovic was really outclassed. Any top coach would say that. Djokovic has struggled quite a bit throughout this Aussie Open. He dropped sets in the earlier rounds to players like Prismic and Popyrin in the 1st and 2nd rounds. Meanwhile, Sinner, even before this Djokovic matchup, he held a staggering 97% of service games. In breakpoints saved, he has saved 93% of them. This tells the story of what Sinner has been doing throughout this run. When you're able to hold his service games and save them at such a high percentage rate, you're likely to win, like what I mentioned earlier in this video. Holding your serve is arguably the most important fundamental aspect of the game of tennis, and no one has done that better than Sinner to this point. It's been extremely tough to win any point against Sinner, which explains his success. Alcaraz and Sinner seem to be the players most likely to lead this new generation of men's tennis. They've always shown exceptional talent when they're on top of their games. They can beat anyone. All they need is that consistency mixed in, like what all the other top 5 all-time greats had. I expect to see many more brilliant performances down the line from these guys. It's hard to bet against Sinner. You can argue that the match between Djokovic was a championship match. Many people believe that, and for good reason, because of all the dominance Djokovic has produced over his career. Medvedev is no easy task, but with the way Sinner has been playing, he's been the best player in the world in this tournament and should rightfully be the favorite on Sunday against Daniil Medvedev. Thank you guys for listening to me talk and share my opinion. As always, make sure to subscribe, like, share, and if you've got any opinions, feel free to leave it in the comment section below.